Hey everyone, after about a year and a half ago, I uploaded a video which showcased the process of adding a mono shrimp to my 20-gallon aquarium, and even though I've only ever uploaded 2 aquarium-oriented videos, it's by far the largest video on my channel, so I figured I should make some sort of an update on that project. You just watched me add the finishing touches to the tank's new scape using a moderate amount of regretful to fill in the space around the driftwood. I decided to do a 100% water change and rescape the tank after I came back from a weekend away to find that a large amount of food had been left uneaten at the bottom of the tank, and I realized someone had dumped nearly a quarter of the container of New Life Spectrum pellets in the aquarium. Seeing the tank, which had been pretty neglected in terms of the plants now filled with rotting food, somehow put me in the mood to make it look new again. I'm going to first go over all the plants that survived the regretful outbreak in my tank. It grew to a solid ceiling, blocking out all the light for everything else that I'm incorporating into the tank. First is anubias, a very common plant, although mine has quite a bit of algae and it's been planted straight into the sand the whole time I've had it. They've each actually quadrupled in size since I got them, but ever since I removed them for a couple hours through the full water change, the leaves have been curled up, so if anyone could leave a comment explaining why this happens, that would be fantastic. Second is the Java fern. I start off with one little Windelov Java fern in my 10-gallon, which I might make a video on soon, and when I moved into my 20, a lot more grew. They're really awesome looking hardy plants. Next is the green Mirio. I really like the look of this plant, especially when it's healthy and spread out. I'm really surprised it survived no light for almost a month, but I'm happy that it did. Moss balls, not actually plants, but the shrimp like them. And then the jungle val. I couldn't kill this plant if I wanted to. New shoots pop up everywhere in the tank, but it doesn't grow too quickly, and I do like the tall, lanky look. Finally, the regretful. I really like the spongy, dense carpet look this plant has, but it grows really fast and ends up floating up to the top unless I make sure it's really stuck. It's the reason I no longer have my dwarf swords or an anubias. It blocked out all the light in my tank for about a month, but I like how it looks in small, sparse amounts. Now I'll go over what equipment the tank uses in maintenance. It is an Aquaclear 50 hang on back filter with a sponge and a bag of bio rings, no carbon. The heater is an Aqueon Pro 100 watt that keeps the tank around 72 degrees in the winter, no problems with it as of yet, and the light is a Phoenix Planted Plus 24/7 SE. It's a really good light, but since I haven't been dosing any fertilizer or CO2 for the past few months, that means I've seen a lot of algae growth, so I need to start doing that again. Although it's not in the tank in this video, I usually have a DIY CO2 injection system running in the tank, which you can see how to do here. For maintenance, I do weekly 50% water changes and use Prime to condition the water. I also dose liquid ferts for potassium, phosphorus, and nitrogen, and use Flourish root tabs for the jungle vals. The stock includes a pearl gourami, 7 zebra danios, 8 mono shrimp, and 2 dwarf chain loaches, which I will go into more detail on. The pearl gourami has grown a bit in the past year and a half, and is now a little over 4 inches long. She hasn't had any problems besides losing a part of one of her feelers, but it grew back quickly. She eats New Life Spectrum pellets, frozen bloodworms, frozen brine shrimp, and sometimes the sinking pellets I drop for the loaches and the shrimp. She hangs around the green Mirio and in the front of the tank. She leaves the other fish alone, and they leave her alone. The zebra danios are common but awesome fish. They're all around 1.5 to 2 inches long and zip around the tank in a very loose shoal usually. I actually have a variety of normal and long fin in my tank. They eat the same stuff the pearl gourami does. Sadly, I lost 3 of the original 10 about a year ago to what I think was internal parasites. For the 2 dwarf chain loaches, it is so hard to find these guys in my area. A little while ago I managed to get 2 at a local fish store, but I haven't seen them on the rare occasions I've been checking. Although they seem to be active and fine, I do understand that they should be in a larger group and plan on picking up 4 more the moment I find them. Maybe I'll do a video on that. Now these aren't like normal loaches. They swim all around the water column, not just the bottom, are very active, and I see them all around the tank. They get along with everyone else, and because there are only 2 of them, during things like water changes, they'll actually group up with the danios in a shoal. They eat the leftovers of the other fish, the mini ram's horn snails I have around the tank, and sinking shrimp wafers. The mono shrimp have grown a ton over the past year and a half and are actually huge now. They're about as large as and some larger than the zebra danios, so everyone that commented that like they need more hiding spaces and the danios will like massacre them, that didn't quite happen. They usually crawl around the driftwood and rocks, but occasionally I'll see one on the heater or on a moss ball. They eat the algae around the tank, leftovers, and sinking algae wafers. Even though they hide a lot, I probably enjoy watching them work away at algae and fungus on the driftwood more than I like watching the rest of the fish, and they're great cleaners. Sometimes they fight with the pearl gourami over algae wafers, so I have to break them up into small pieces. Overall, I'm pretty happy with the tank, and I can't wait to see how it looks when the plants recover and I finish stocking.